Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gearblocks. Continuing work on the new pickup truck I've been working on. I did notice that I'm using the wrong gearbox, technically. I just grabbed the one that I've been using for... Oh, I made that clip through there by accident. Oops. I've just grabbed one out of the page, and then wondered why the gearing wasn't right. That's because I've been using the wrong one in the page. This one has just a better gearing to it. It's still a 5-speed, but it's got a better gearing than this one. So I gotta put this one in, and I need to take this bit off. Like so. And then put this one in place. I need to shorten this as well. And that still lines up the way it did before, so that'll be good enough, at least for testing. And I'm actually just going to leave everything the way it is for the moment, just to make it simpler and easier to deal with. Make it better looking after. Do that with that. I'll probably change the frame rails at some point so I can run an exhaust through there, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. I would also like to put proper engine mounts on the engine, but that'll come at a later point as well. I can move that. I don't remember why that was there, but whatever. I'll work on the 4-wheel drive at another point as well. I just want to get the base truck like built and working. But last episode, I got a little stuck with the steering. And I think for the time being, I would like it if the leaf springs were out further on the axle, more in line with the rear end. But that just isn't very practical at the moment. I could also put them underneath the axle, but I don't want to do that at the moment since they're just flat. I'd rather have them on top. I guess that would work on the bottom if I change them up a little bit, but either way, I'm just going to leave it like this, and then I'm going to just do a short drag link for now, I guess. This version of the suspension is going to have I haven't been able to speak properly all day. It is going to have absolutely horrid bump steer. So I can change that to aluminum. For now, I will angle this better at some point. I'm also tempted to drop the bar under here instead. You know what, I think I am going to do that. Because then it'll give me better space for drag link. So if I just, grab another one of those, and just put it there, on both sides. This shackle can kind of go in place. I needed to use different parts for that. I also forgot to save this after the last update, so a couple things that I did do are no longer done. Alright, we do that, and then this. I am also making this a lot more difficult than it needs to be, just because I want certain details to to be a certain way, but whatever. And then I'm going to connect this as far over this way as I can, so like here-ish, I think. Yeah, I think that'll work fine, especially once I make the version with the track bar on it. I think that'll be a nice length. So I should use this instead. And then grab the ball, put it on, and then for now I'm just going to use a 1x1 beam to connect that. And that should work enough just to have steering for now. Cool. Alright, now I need 2 of these. One goes there, set to rotate, one goes there, set to rotate, and then a shackle. I'm doing it this way because that's going to have some issues with the leaf spring. Another reason I'd like to move them out by one. But we'll see once I get a bit more work done to the truck how things turn out. It wouldn't be hard to offset it over by one, but I don't want to at the moment. And yeah, why is that turned there but not down at the bottom? What if I lock this one in place? Will it turn? So yeah, that's bump steer. And that's really bad bump steer, but with it being on leaf springs, there's nothing I can really do about it. That's why street vehicles with solid axles now have coils, a 3 or 4 link with a track bar. But either way, I also don't need to make it have so much suspension drop, and I'm likely going to change this out to... Yeah, I'm actually going to change that out right now. Just to be a bit more basic for this model, because I want to have like the absolute base like fleet version, and then I want to be able to have it so you can just swap out axles and stuff and change it up. And with having leaf springs, I think 3 blocks of droop is just way too much. I forgot to set that shock to false. There we go. Oh, I already put one on this side. Oopsies. There we go. And then I will remake these ones when I do the upgraded suspension, because I would still like to have a lifted leaf spring style, but I need to do a little bit more work to get it to work a bit better. Or I'll make it more for flex rather than just drooping. That sounds kind of bad. Plus, doing it like this gives me more space for stuff under the bed and like wheel wells and stuff. So overall, this will be a bit better. I still need to fit the gas tank here somehow, I could do the same thing I did on the front with the shackle. Do I have a fuel tank? No. I don't have a fuel tank out at the moment. I'm just using this one. And if that goes there, that will work. Because at the moment the axle can only go one block up. And then 3 down. Or at the moment it only goes 1 up and 1 down, but I think that'll be fine if I change out the shackles. And I think I want to put it on this side. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on this side. Because why not? Okay. So where exactly is everything going to fit? If I put this over here, it doesn't go down all the way to there. So what I could do is still use this on the bottom, and then I can figure something out for that side. What if I go kind of like this? Really? I don't like how it's kind of sticking through there, but once it's all together, you won't really notice. And I think for the moment that actually works kind of well. I'm gonna leave it like that for now, just because. I'll keep that there. Did I keep the front one? Yes. Alrighty. So there's the fuel tank in. The battery, I will likely find a spot to put once I have the front of the cab put on, which I guess I should put the cab on now. I'm just gonna lock everything in place to make it easier. And then I can't remember exactly how this goes on. Didn't I? Yeah, I did a thing back here for me to put it there, I think. Yeah, there we go. I'm glad I did that. Except now that's kinda not working properly. So let's take off that, and then that just goes to the fuel tank. Cool. I might want to change this gap here. Just make it 1 block longer. And I should be able to. We'll see when I put the bed on it. So, back to the front, I need my allergies to stop being bad. Okay, there we go. That, and then I need an 8-tooth spur gear. I'm gonna set that to rotate for now. And then I need a normal worm gear. There it is. And then we grab an axle. I like doing the steering like this now and then just because it's a bit more realistic, I guess. And then this runs up and into the cab. Somehow. I'll get to that. Alright, let's work on the firewall. That can just go like that. This one can just be extended over. There we go. Ooh, starter. I should move the starter, put it lower. I could. And I should, because it's not really a good spot for the starter. So I'm going to take that off, and I will find a new spot for it in a minute. As for the middle, I feel like an L plate will likely be the best. I think I just did a couple of the chassis parts in aluminum also, and I did not want to. Okay. I'm going to grab the pedals. I also need to grab the door hinges, so I might as well grab those now. Oops. Keep having to mute my mic so I can clear my throat. I don't have any coffee at the moment. Where are the pedals? They're not this low, I know they're not. Oh, right there. One goes there. And one goes there. Okay, so I need to build this one kind of into the side. And I usually use L plates for this bit. I might as well just cover this whole thing. I need to figure out a way to put like a range box or a proper like transfer case in it. I also don't like how the reverse gear is clipping through the body, but that's fine, I guess. And then I'll just go like this for the rest of the back. That can go like that. I feel like the cab should be like one block bigger. But, oh well. Okay, I'm gonna grab another of these. And it can go like that. Those also aren't quite high enough. I need to go up one more. I think. Depends on how I want to do this. If I grab a gusset, and then a plate, just go like this, that should be fine. Yeah, that works fine. Okay. I will then, oopsies. That's why I welded everything. And then I'll put gussets up here as well. Move that back just by one. Gussets up there to hold these side panels onto the front. Like so. It doesn't look the greatest, but it works. And then I'll just use a couple taller ones here. Like so. Then there. Just remove this for a moment. And that gap I should be able to fill with just a single little plate. There. And that goes there. This one goes there. And there we go. The hole is filled. Cool. Now I just need to go like this. I'm going to grab a couple more gussets for there. So that kind of holds on to the sides. And then if I use an L plate, that should connect everything up with the firewall. Yeah, like that. So everything is all connected and decent. There we go. Okay. Oh, I thought there was a hole in the bottom, but there is not. Awesome. So now we move that out of the way. Oops. I didn't lock this into place. Okay, make sure everything is locked in place. Yes. And lock all of that, and there we go. I can do proper, like, seat rails now, too. What do I want to do for that? Because I've only got one block of space to work with. So how can I make this look kind of cool? Like it can actually slide back and forth. What if I use a couple half-rounded beams? Seat could move forwards and it could move back. So I need to make sure there's enough space for it to look like it can. So I could go like one extra behind. Actually, if I go there, I think that'll look okay. It's enough to get the point across. It should work fine. So let's 2, 3, 4. Pull that out. Stick that in. There we go. I don't have any specific plans for this truck other than I just want to make it as detailed as I can. I slowly learn as I go, as I try and do different things. I learn how the game works, how the different parts work together, and so on. And as I do that, I like to then, now and then, challenge myself to just apply everything that I've learned into one thing. That's like the best thing that I've built so far. Like that's the best truck 6x6 that I've built. Actually, I just recently put independent suspension on it. And it handles amazingly with independent suspension on it instead of leaf springs and stuff. But either way, this video is about this truck, not that one. So that is technically the cab itself done, like the shell for the cab. I still have to do the dashboard and stuff, but yeah. And then that little bit has to be there because of angling the A-pillars. I'm going to put the doors on I'm going to duplicate these first because I use the same thing for the hood and tailgate. I would also like to do some kind of cool, not cool, but a fancy hinge for the hood. And then, yeah, I'm going to go like this so that that can be nice and low. Or I could put it up into the dash for once and put it higher. Usually I try and put the door hinge low, but maybe I'll put it like way up there now this time. I need to set all of this to not have collision. Yeah, if I do this, it'll hide it all better. Is all. So I'll adjust the height when I do the dash. Actually, I'll do the dash right now. So we've got the main structure for the dash. I need to grab my steering wheel mount thingy. I would also like to put the gauges on a slight angle this time as well. Or the screens, I should say. Where's the steering wheel? Right there. This goes here. Yep. And then it goes out the front of the cab. Not one of those. I want to use these for more creations somehow too. I want to start using more of the specialized parts for things. And there we go. I need to resave this so it just automatically starts as everything's set to false. Okay, now I can kind of build the dash around this. I'm tempted to just do plastic instead of having that piece there. I would like to I like having a bit of like a rounded dash. I typically do this. Bring that one down more. And then something like this. But like that. I'd kind of like to do that for the dash. And somehow model in a, whatchamacallit? Yeah. Like a glove box and stuff. I'm going to also attach the dash differently than I usually do. Because I can put that there. And then grab an L plate. Oops. And put that there. And just kind of mount it like that. It's not going to work quite as well for this side. But I think that might be fine. I should probably put the door thingy on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too worried about it. Actually, I could probably manage to figure something out with that side. I can move the mount for the dash over and do it a little bit differently. Right. There we go. And that'll hold both parts of the dash. And then this can technically just clip through it, but I'd like to minimize the amount of clipping through. If I were to turn it, I could put it like right there. It's still not in a preferable spot, but that'll actually work pretty well. So I'm going to do that. I think that'll work just fine. And then when the door closes, it'll cover all of that. Cool. I'm technically out of time. That can now go. I'm going to continue that across. And then I'm just gonna quickly finish up the rough idea for this. And that's not gonna really... yeah, that'll be fine. Oops. Yeah, it'll clip through, but it'll be fine. So I can do kind of like that. And then I should be able to use some angle bits and kind of put the screens along this curved edge or something. And then put the lights in somehow and so on and so forth. But I will get to that in the next episode, video, whatever. Next week. I'm tired today. Either way, I'm actually really enjoying building this truck. I hope it turns out good. I'm kind of worried that it's not going to look the greatest, but I can't see really why it wouldn't. So yeah. Either way, as usual, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, anything you want me to check out, feel free to leave it in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed. Oops, and thanks for watching.